Hello, this is Alexey. In previous video tutorials, we create responsive company website from scratch with a blog, portfolio, and upload it to the hosting. In this video tutorial, we'll talk about Joomla categories. We'll talk about managing, creating, customizing Joomla categories, and we will also create a menu items and modules to display categories on the website. Let's start with the managing Joomla categories. You can get to them from here, Content, Categories. Here are some categories. You can use filter by status, access, tags, and max level. Also, you can sort these categories by several options. Here they are. For example, ordering design or ordering assign. Also, you can reduce number of categories displayed on the page or show them all. You can search for categories. For example, let's search a blog category. You can change these columns, for example, disable access column. You can unpublish category. Also, you can publish it or move to trash. To clean the trash, select status, trashed, select all categories you need to delete, and empty trash. Also, you can select several categories and, for example, unpublish them. Or select all of them and publish. Also, you can manage batch operations, for example, change access level, add tags, copy or move categories. With access level and tags, we will work in future video tutorials. Let's create new category. For example, we have category 3. Let's create category 4. Just enter the title and save your changes. Also, you can use Save and Close to save changes and close this page. Here we can see our category, but there is no articles. About articles you can learn from my previous video tutorial. Also, we can create child categories. For example, let's create child category, call it category 4.1. Here we need to select a parent category. This will be our category 4. And now we can see we have created our child category for the parent category, category 4. There can be a lot of child categories. For example, here I show we have parent category, category 1. Here we have child category 1.3, and here we have child category for category 1.3, 1.3.1. Let's see how to create, for example, here different menu items to show our categories. Go to your menu and create new menu item. With menu we will work in future video tutorials. Let's create first menu item. It will called Archive Articles. Select Articles, Archive Articles. It will show all archive articles from all categories, but you can choose not all categories, you can choose just some of them, or maybe one category. So, category can be used to filter articles in the front end. For example, I will select all categories, save my item, and let's see the result. Here we can see all articles from all categories which marked as archive. As you can see here in articles, we can use filter. We can filter articles, and here they are. For this menu, you can use title filter, month, year filter, and you can change number of articles displayed on the page. Now let's create second item. It will call category blog. I will select, for example, category 1, and this will display articles from category 1 in the blog layout. Let's create next menu item. It will be called category list. I will also select category 1, update the page, and here is our category list. We see these articles, but in the list view. The next menu item will be featured articles. Here we also can use categories to filter our articles, but I will select all categories. And here in articles we can see a lot of featured articles with the stars. Let's update our page, and we can see our featured articles in blog category view. Something like this, but only for featured articles. The next menu item will be called List all categories in article category tree. We also can create menu item. Click here, enter title, and select this menu item type. Here we can also see our categories. I will select root category. And now we can see the list of our categories with article count. We can display our child categories if they have some items. Let's rename this menu item. It will be shorter. OK. And now let's see category options. Go back to categories. Open, for example, our category 1. And now let's work with these settings. Here we can save our category, save and close and create new one, close this page, see the versions. With versions you can go back to previous settings. For example, let's see here. We can see some settings on this data and time, and we can restore these settings if we want to. Also, we can compare these settings. We can see there was changes in alias and title. So, let's look at our category blog. Let's add some description, and let's look where we can see it. I refresh the page, and here is our category description. Also, you can change the parent. We already talked in this video about it. You can change status. You can change access, add tags. About these options we will talk in next video tutorials. Here you can add some notes. For example, let's write category. These notes will be seen here, but they won't be displayed anywhere in the front end. Let's go to the next tab option. Here we can add an image. for example, this image, save it, update the page, and here we can see our image. On this tab you can add meta description and also, for example, information about author. Keywords are not visible anymore in the front end. Also, we can change robots rules. This is for SEO. If you want to know more, read about it in the Google documentation. Let's see where we can see this data. I will update the page, but anywhere here we won't see this data. We need to look at our code, and here we can see our meta description, author, and meta name robots data. So just know how to change this. In previous video tutorial, when we work with articles, we work with some options in this tab and this tab. Now let's work with other options. As you can see, these options are similar to these options. This is the same tabs. So let's continue with category. Here are a lot of options. As we can see here, the settings apply for article category options unless they changed by individual category or menu settings. Let's see what does it mean. For example, we have our category block. This is an individual menu item. Let's show category title. This is category 1. We can see this category 1 title. Now let's leave it like this, show, and now go to our menu, find our category block menu item, and here we can see these options, but for this specific menu item. Let's, for example, select hide category title, update it, and now the category title is disappeared. But if we will look to our global options, we can see this options is still show category title, but for our menu item we have hide this category item, and in this case, just for this menu item, the title of category won't be shown. So if you see these options here and in the menu item, then know you can override global options by options in menu item. Also, now let's, for example, check category description in hide, and we will see that our description is disappear. In this way, you can change some options and see the result here. The next is categories. For example, as you can remember, we have list all categories menu item. Here are article counts, and here we can disable it. So just experiment with settings to achieve your goals. Let's go here, blog feature layout. Here is our category blog layout. Let's see how we can make, for example, one article in full wide of the content area, and then we need to have 3 columns. Here we need to enter lead article 1 and columns, for example, 3. Let's update the page. Here we can see our lead articles, and here are our 3 columns. There are other settings, you can experiment with them, and now let's go to list layout. Here is our list layout page, category list. Here we can add, for example, hints and auto column, and here are our columns. Also, we can disable this select element or show it. Let's look at the options on the next tab. Here we can see category and article ordering. For example, here is our category blog. Here we can see our articles. Let's change ordering, for example, title alphabetic. Updating the page, and we can see that the ordering was changed. On the integration tab, we can see options for disabling or enabling RSS feed link. Here we can see our RSS. We can disable it. Also, there is one interesting option: remove IDs from URLs. Let's see our URL. For example, our article about homepage. Here we can see our homepage, no IDs. Now let's disable this option. Go back to category block, about our homepage, and we can see ID 19. What is this number means? Let's go to content, articles, and here we can see IDs, and here is our about homepage. Its ID is 19. This option came from oldest version of Joomla. I don't recommend you to enable it or disable it unless you understand what you are doing, because this option can break your URLs and it's not very good for SEO, so just leave it like it was by default. With Permission tab, you can give different permissions for different actions for different user groups. With user groups and user, we will work in next video tutorials. Now let's see some example of modules. With modules we will work in next video tutorials, but now let's see some examples. Here are some modules. Let's create new one. We need the module Articles Categories. I will give it a title like this. Here we can select our parent category or leave just like this. Now we need to select our position. Let's see what we've got without selecting parent category. Update the page and we can see all our categories. We can show or hide category description, number of articles, subcategories, or we can select parent category, for example category 1, and now we can see just child categories for parent category, category 1. The next module will be Articles Category. I will give it the exact title. Also, it will be published here. With this filter, you can select categories from which we will show articles. For example, category 1. Just save it, update, and here we can see our articles from category 1. There are a lot of options. You can work with them and do what you need. In the next video tutorial, we'll look at Joomla menu. We will look at the management, creation and general settings for menu items. We will also talk about the menu module. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, this is Alexey, see you soon in new tutorials.